Okay. Pardon me. Time to pull the old blades off this mower deck and put the new ones on. It's a good idea to check before you take anything off the positioning of it. These blades, from the perspective we're seeing it, spin counterclockwise. And so if you were to take these new placements and put them on labels facing this way, you'd be making a mistake. They need to go this way. And always check. Pretty obvious, when you really get right down to it, which way they go. I'm going to check the balance on these before I install them, and I will check the balance on those blades. I'm curious about that, as it is getting quite a bit of vibration from it, and I suspect it's just that they're out of balance. These new ones should be pretty close. A preliminary look suggests that they are, but nonetheless, I'm going to get these off, and we'll check them. Certainly check these before I put them on, and if they need balancing, then that's what I will do. My understanding is, and my experience is that from the factory, they're pretty good. But we'll see about that. So I'm going to do these one at a time. Let's get this one off. These are keyed to the shafts, so don't need to block it or anything. Let's see, we got fender washer and a lock washer. Yeah. This appears to have some sort of thread locker on it. Actually, the threads do not look great right there. Something we're going to have to explore about that. So I'm going to, before I pull this, there's no flange or anything, it's just this lobed affair. I will be using a Loctite thread locker on these, of course. But I do want to put a witness mark on there before I do this. And phasing doesn't matter much. These blades are not going to crash, assuming everything's working right. Maybe I'm going to put a witness mark on that really quickly. Probably doesn't matter, but who knows. Okay, so looking at this, it's not terribly warm. There's some dingage on it, occasional stone. Interesting. Said the spindles seem tight. I don't think I'm going to have to replace those. I don't see any wear on it, especially. Looks about right. So, we'll see if that's balanced. But first, do a dry fit. Let's see which. Okay. Orient this the same way. It's like there. It is the mulching blades. These are different. Where the bends are. One seems to be a bit steeper here. You know, they don't just act as cutters, they're also blowers. The idea being to blow the clippings around until it's sort of chopped up into smaller bits before they discharge. I think it appears that these blades, these ones I bought, are a bit more aggressive in that regard. Well, we'll see. As I said, I'm certainly going to hang on to these, unless I find any cracks in them. Yeah, I'll clean them up and sharpen and balance these if they need it. But for 14-year-old blades, they look pretty good. But anyway, put these on the balance and see if that works out. I gotta go get my Loctite. Don't worry about that after we'll do the first one. And, take it from there. Okay, so got one of the blades off. Thought it'd be a good idea to check the balancing on it just to see. I was getting quite a bit of vibration from it. It could have been anything. Often the cause is unbalanced blades. Maybe not, but they should be balanced well. This saves us the spindle bearings on the thing, which in the case of this deck seem to be in pretty good shape. There's no play, there's no wobble, there's no throw, no thrust, anything. They do not recommend you lubricating them for ideas that should somewhat be obvious. It attracts and holds dirt, grime, things like that. So, you know, if all goes well, I'm just going to go ahead and just pop these new ones on, reinstall the deck, and see how it goes. Any troubles, well, it's easy enough to get it back off and service it. But anyway, balancing. And a number of different ways of going about this. I've used the cone balancers and things. Really not necessary. Really don't care about the balance in this axis. I care about it this way. That's where it's going to kill you. If it's going to. And if, you know, after sharpening it, you find it to be off balance, just grind a little bit off of the back of the blade. Not the leading edge, the back edge. And trim it up with that. Now, these, I rather like this splined engagement. It's not likely to spin, and you're not relying on the bolt to keep this from spinning on the spindle. You know what I mean. And fortunately, they put a lobe right here that's centered. So you can use that as a balancing point to see if the thing is fairly well balanced. If it's not, you'll know. I just got in this vise clamped a screwdriver, quarter-inch blade screwdriver with a round shaft. And I'm going to balance this here on this lobe. that's pretty well balanced. I mean, it's not tilting either way. That's actually kind of remarkable. 14-year-old blade still acting like that. So, got a small magnet here, neodymium magnet. The thing weighs, this magnet probably weighs about a gram or so, maybe less. And I'm going to just stick it on here so you can see what happens with a little bit of extra weight on one end. Clearly not balanced. But without that extra weight, I pulled the magnet off. It's spot on. So, certainly a keeper. Just sharpen it up, rebalance it. Now this is a new one. Excuse me. Do the same check. Pretty good. Add a little weight. And there it goes. So, this is ready to go. Mount on there straight up. No troubles with that at all. And in fact, I think the next thing I'll do is go ahead and mount this one. I gotta go dig up my Loctite thread locker for it. And double check that bolt. That bolt looked a little dodgy. We'll see about that. Easy enough to get replacement parts for it. It's rather fine thread, necessarily, given its application. Excuse me. So, I'm going to play around with that a bit. I'm not going to go through this balancing effort on the camera. Unless it goes wrong. If it goes wrong, then certainly I will and show what it is one might do to mitigate that. Normally these things, they're cut pretty well balanced. You don't need to worry about it, but you do check it. If you don't, you might be wondering why the thing's shaking your fillings out and screwing up your bearing. So, okay, that's the plan. All right, so verified that at least one of the replacement blades is fairly well balanced. I don't think I'm going to need to trim it. We'll see. Pardon me. So, go ahead. Put this on. If you put it on with the label out, you're doing it wrong. In this case, from this view, they spin counterclockwise, cutting edge. Here, that's the leading edge. I'm going to mount this pretty much the way the position that the original blade was in. It doesn't really matter. Why not? And the washer, bolt and lock washer. I'm a little worried about some of the threads on here, but now that I've taken more of a look at cleaned it some, it appears to be okay. And it does with the threads into the spindle shaft without any trouble. So, but I am going to use some thread locker on it. This is 242, Loctite 242. For this pitch of thread in here, I think is about the right choice. There are other stiffer ones you could use, but I've had trouble with those on fine threaded fasteners, bolts. Give it a good coating. You do have to clean one of these. And for this stuff to work, it's an anaerobic cure. So you can't spend a whole lot of time twisting. Daggone traffic. So rather than use the air wrench, I'm going to just hand spin this in. I should probably have some gloves on. The hand doing is a bit more easier to control. The torque. You know, these things are great for undoing, but doing, boy, they'll strip a bolt quicker than you can blink an eye. If you're not careful. Yep. Well, I think that's going to work. The Loctite cure doesn't take terribly long. And for next, get this blade off. Check its balance. If it's off, I'll show. If it's not, I'm not going to bother with that. Also the new blade. Not really much to see. In fact, I probably won't bother videoing me replacing the other blade. It looks exactly the same as replacing this one. So maybe some will get in the deck back in mounted. If anything that shows up that I do not like, I'll certainly post it. I mean, I'm going to keep the video going anyway, but most of it's going to be pretty boring. So, as a marker, I'm going to cut this off, but then start it again, but probably won't bother posting. Now, gloves. Where's the gloves? Oh, here they are. Sorry. Get this other blade off of here. Pretty good luck with the first one over there. Of course, we'll hitch really off. Hopefully, we will have same results here. Should probably, me being right-handed, go around this side. Oh, beauty. Grassy gook in here. That looks okay. So it's this. And I've already checked the balance on this replacement, that blade from the side. We need to do that again. But I certainly will check the balance on that. If I find anything wrong with that, I'll show. But looking at it, I really don't think that's going to be a problem. Checking the leading edge rate. Just like that. Yeah. There's remarkably good shape. I could use a little sharpening and touching up on this leading edge, but you know, they were working. And we're using them. It'd be interesting to see what the different contours on these new blades do, how they act. I don't think that I'm going to find any troubles with this as far as balance. I really don't. I'm not finding what I'm seeing here. There's so little missing from it. Anyway. This fastener looks a little grimy on the threads. That looks clean. I'm just going to go for it. Pardon me. A little bit of goo. Work it in some. Maybe a little bit more. That's right. Again, washer, lock washer, and bolt. I'm not going to use the air wrench. It's a tight. This way you get an idea what's going on. You cross it. Yeah, well-calibrated torque arms. And it's biting on the belt. Twist it that way. Yeah, I don't see any troubles with that spindle at all. This one. And before I do remount this deck, I'm going to pick all this stuff out of it. And that just promotes rusty deck. It has rusted some of it, as you can see. So that I'm going to peel away. The deck does seem to be in pretty good shape. Nothing too crispy yet. And yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and down her back in. Check the balance on this. I don't believe this is going to be shown. What the heck? Maybe a little bit off. Seems heavy on that side. Maybe just a bit. Certainly not going to worry. I wouldn't fret over that. This thing like a donk. Yeah, sure, that's going to be a problem. But anyway, clean it up. Wire wheel it, sharpen it, we're going to cut back some of these nicks, and if need be, balance it. Mop a little bit off the outside trailing edge corner, or maybe some notches in the back. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just need to get this thing back up because my lawn really needs mowed. So I'm just not going to waste anybody's time in showing how to scrape the grass off the underside of the deck. Unless there are troubles down the line. I think I'm done with this. It'd be rather boring showing me riding my mower while mowing. We've all seen that. So, I think that somebody get some use. Yeah, out of this. I don't know. Hope so. See it.